It's Crystal. Today I'm going to show you how to make this bag here. You'll need some type of handle. I have two short leather handles that I got off an old bag that I got at probably, I don't even know, Goodwill or an auction or something. But you don't have to use, you can make your own handles too. You can make two short ones, two long ones. Just crochet them however you want. And then if you want to add this button, that's something that's optional too. This button is probably almost 2 inches across. Of course you can add a shorter one if you want. It's just hooked on with a strap here. And if you want to leave that off and just leave it open, you can do that too. And I'm probably going to put a liner in it. I haven't done that yet, but I probably will eventually. So for this project, I'm just using regular Red Heart Super Saver, which is a medium worsted weight 4-ply 100% acrylic, but you can use any type of 4-ply yarn that you have. The color I'm using is gold, and you can use any color of your choice. And it'll probably take about, not very much at all, 150 yards or so. So one skein is going to be plenty for that. And then I'm using a size J, which is a 6mm crochet hook. Okay, this stitch that I'm doing is done in a multiple of 4 plus 3, in case you want to make your bag bigger or you want to use the stitch for something else. But for the size that I'm doing, if you want to follow along with me, I started out with a chain 43. Now I'm going to do it on a smaller scale because I already have my big piece done. But once you get your chain of 43 done, you want to go ahead and put one single crochet in the second stitch from the hook. And then we're going to work one single crochet in every stitch across for the entire length of the chain. Just like this. And this is a really easy stitch to do too. It works up quickly. Once you make it to the end, what you want to do is you want to go ahead and chain one and turn your work. Now what I'm going to do is put one double crochet right back here in this very first stitch. Right here. Like that. And now I'm going to skip one stitch and I'm going to put a double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. So skip one and double crochet into the next. And then one double crochet into the next. And then one double crochet into the next. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross over all these double crochets and double crochet back into the stitch that I skipped. So what I'm going to do is yarn over and go all the way across the front of these. It gets a little tricky at first, but you'll get the hang of it. Go through that stitch, grab this yarn from behind and pull it up nice and long like that. And then finish out my double crochet just like that. So it's that easy. Now what we're going to do is we're going to skip the next stitch, and you got to look closely. This stitch has already been worked, so here's the stitch that you want to skip, and we want to put a double crochet into the next, and then a double crochet into the next, and then again a double crochet into the next. Now what we're going to do is cross over all these 3 stitches and double crochet into the stitch that we skipped. So we yarn over and go all the way across over the front and go into that stitch that we skipped. Grab your yarn from behind and pull it through. Now pull it up nice and long, and then go ahead and do your double crochet just like that. Again, you want to skip the next stitch. And remember, this one's worked, so here's the one we want to skip, and double crochet into the next, and into the next. So it's 3 double crochets in a row. And now we're going to cross over and double crochet into that stitch that we skipped. So we're going to yarn over, go all the way over, go into it, grab this yarn from behind, pull it up, and pull it up nice and long, across all those stitches, and then double crochet, just like that. Again, skip the next stitch. So this one's worked, so we want to skip this one, and then we double crochet into the next, 3 double crochets in a row. So there's 1, 2, 3, and again we're just going to cross over all these stitches and do a double crochet. So yarn over, go into that stitch that we skipped, grab your yarn from behind and pull it up nice and tall so it crosses over all these stitches, and then we go ahead and do our double crochet, just like that. And when you get to the end, remember yours is going to be longer than mine because I did mine shorter. You should have 1 stitch left. Go ahead and just double crochet into that last stitch, just like that. That's what it starts to look like. Now what you do is you chain 1, turn your work, and now we put 1 single crochet into the very first stitch, and then it's just 1 single crochet in every stitch across until you get to the end of your row. And then when you get to the end, we're just going to repeat the row before. So now what it is, it's just a repeat of rows 2 and 3. So we chain 1 and turn, and we're going to double crochet right back into that same stitch, like that. And we're going to skip 1, and we're going to put a double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, and now we're going to cross over and go back into the one that we skipped. So we yarn over and go into it, grab the yarn from behind and pull it up nice and tall, and then we do our double crochet like that. Now we're going to skip the next stitch, skip it, and we do the same thing, 3 double crochets in a row, now we're going to go back to the one we skipped. We're going to yarn over, go through the one we skipped, draw up a loop nice and tall, and then we do and then we do our double crochet, skip the next stitch, and again 3 double crochets in a row, go back, yarn over, go back into the one we skipped, draw up a nice long loop, and then double crochet that. Skip the next stitch, and we do it again, 3 double crochets in a row, yarn over, go back to the stitch we skipped, draw up a long loop, and then we double crochet. And then when you get to the end, you'll have 1 stitch left. Go ahead and double crochet into that last stitch, chain 1 and turn. And now we're going to do our row of single crochet again. So we just single crochet right back into the very same stitch, and then 1 single crochet across until you get to the end. So we're just repeating those 2 rows, and you want to repeat those 2 rows, the cable row and then the single crochet row, until you have a total of 21 rows of the cable rows. So we have 2 of them done now, and you want a total of 21.
Okay, once you get your 21 rows done, you can see what it looks like when you fold it in half. And of course you can do more if you want to make it bigger. That's up to you. But I went ahead and I just did my row of single crochet after this cable row. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around it all with a row of single crochet. So I'm going to open it up here. Now, I still got, if you look, you can see I have the good side of the single crochet facing me. If you look at it, you can tell. If you flip it over, you can see that the single crochet just looks backwards on this side. And it is. And I want the good side of the single crochet facing me. It just looks better that way, I think. But really, it's your preference. But that's the way I'm going to do it. So I just finished this row of single crochet. So now what I'm going to do is chain 1. And now I'm going to work down, putting 1 single crochet in every stitch. And it's going to be kind of hard to tell where the single crochets go. But what I'm going to use is, I'm just going to kind of say 2 single crochets to every double crochet. And then there'll be 1 single crochet to every row of single crochet that we did. So I'm just going to just double crochet right here. I'm going to put 1 single and then another single. And then here's the row of single crochet. I'm just going to go right through it. Put a single crochet. And right here is a double. So I'm just going to put 2, evenly space out 2 single crochet down that. And then right here is the single crochet row. So I'm going to put 1 single crochet through that. And then you can see this is the double crochet on the side. So I'm going to put 2 single crochets through that. And then the single crochet rows right here. Put 1 single crochet. And then the double crochet, I'm going to put 2 single crochets through that double crochet. And then 1 single crochet on the single crochet row. And now I'm just going to repeat that pattern all the way down, and it's going to make the edge look nice and clean. Okay, I went all the way down this first side here, and I'm down here at the corner. Now what I want to do is put 3 single crochets in the corner stitch. Actually, in each of the 4 corner stitches. There's 3 of them. Like that. And then, turn my work over here. And now when you go across the short halves of the bag, you'll be able to see your stitches a lot better. So it's just 1 single crochet in every stitch across the bottom part here, or the short side, until you get to the next corner. And we'll put 3 single crochets in the next corner stitch. Just like that. Okay, I made it across this short half with a row of single crochet, and now I'm going to work back up the long side. And I just finished putting 3 single crochets in this corner, and now I'm going to do the same thing that I did on the other side. Whenever there was a single crochet row, I'm going to put 1 single crochet in it, and then whenever there was a double crochet here on the side, I'm going to put 2 double crochets in it. And you can see it's kind of open here, and that's fine. I'm just going to go right through it like that. Put 2 double crochets. And then the single crochet row. And then 2 double crochets, like right here. I'm sorry, 2 single crochets right there, kind of where that opening is. Like that. And then 1 on the single crochet row. And then 2 on the double crochet row. 1 on the single crochet row, and 2 on the double crochet row. So you're just kind of doing what you did there before. It just looks a little bit different on this side because of the way we ended. 2 right here on this double crochet row, and then 1 here on the single crochet. 2 right here on the double, crochet, and then 1 here on the single. And I'm going to do that all the way down this long side here. Okay, I've made it back to the top, and I put 3 single crochets in this corner, and now you'll be able to see your stitches really good across the top here. And it's just 1 single crochet in every stitch until you get back to your starting point. Just like that. Okay, when you make it back to your starting point, you want to go ahead and put 3 single crochets in the last stitch here. 3, and then you want to go ahead and slip stitch into your first single crochet here on this side, not that chain 1, but the single crochet that you did. And then you can pull this out and clip your yarn. Tie it off like that. And now we're going to just sew the sides together. So you can fold your piece in half. And remember, you want the good side of the single crochets facing you. You can see when you look at them, they kind of stick out. That's the side that you don't want. When you flip them over, they look like it's the right side of them, and that's what you want. So, unless you like it the other way. I mean, that's up to you, but you want the good side of the singles facing you. And now I'm just going to slip stitch the sides together. So I'm going to fold it in half up here at the top. And I'm going to match my stitches up. I'm going to grab where we put 3 stitches in the corner. I'm going to grab the middle one on this piece. And then we put 3 stitches in the corner on this one. I'm going to grab the middle one on that piece. And I'm going to pull my yarn through. And I'm going to chain 1. And now I'm going to go to the next stitch, grab it, and to the next stitch on this back piece, and grab it, and slip stitch. And then the next stitch on this piece, the next stitch on the back piece, and slip stitch. And I'm going to do this all the way down, just slip stitching it together. If you're more comfortable using a yarn needle and a piece of yarn to just sew it up, you can do that too. I do that sometimes, quite often. This time I'm just going to slip stitch it. Piece here, or a stitch there, stitch on the back, slip stitch, this stitch, stitch on the back, and slip stitch. And you want to do this all the way down until you get to the bottom. And then you can clip your yarn and tie it off. And then you just do the same thing to the other side. You just slip stitch it together in the same way. Just like that. Okay, once you get your piece sewn together on both sides, you should have a nice clean seam on both sides. You do like that. Now I'm going to go around the top for a little bit, put like a little brim. So you can start your yarn anywhere you want. I'll probably just start it kind of just right here before this corner spot. So right here. And I'm going to pull my yarn through. I'm going to chain 1. Now I'm going to go back into that same stitch and single crochet. Now I'm going to work my way across, putting 1 single crochet in every stitch. And I want to do this all the way around. Okay, I went across the front here, and now when you make it to the edge here, you want to make sure you get these, there'll be a stitch here on each side. You just want to make sure you and then jump over to the next one there. Just like that. That way it kind of closes that edge off. And now I'm just going to continue around until I get to the other side, the other seam part. One single crochet in every stitch. Okay, when you make it back to the other side and you see the seam here, remember you do the stitch right before the seam, single crochet, and then the one after. And then when you get back to the beginning, you just want to slip stitch into your first single crochet and clip that yarn off like that, and you can hide that tail. Now I'm going to sew my handles on. Now if you can make your own handles if you want. You can make one long one or two short ones. I have these two short ones that I'm going to put on. And in case you have some like mine, I'll show you how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to sew them on with a piece of yarn and a yarn needle. So I always just kind of eyeball where I'm going to put them. So not really measure everything out precisely. Not all the time. Most of the time I don't. I'm just going to use these rows as guides. So I'll probably sew in between these two rows and in between those two rows. So I have one row on the outside. And I'm going to sew it up. But of course you put yours anywhere you want. I mean, that's completely up to you. And how I'm going to sew them is just going to sew it to this row of these rows of single crochet up here. Probably right on the very first row. And I'm just going to use my yarn needle and sew them on. Now you do your handles. I'm sure it's going to be hard to find the exact handles that I have, but you do yours however you want. If you think this bag would look good with a long handle, you put a long handle on it. If you think it would look better with one short one, you put one short one. Two short ones, two long ones. Whatever you want to do, it's completely up to you. I think it would look good with a long one or two short ones actually. I kind of contemplated on which ones to use because I have a long one too. But I'm going to go ahead and get these sewed on. Like I said, just kind of eyeball where to sew them using these rows. Or that's what I do. So I'm going to sew both my handles on. And then I think I might make a little bitty strap in front for a button. And I can show you how to do that if you want to do that. Okay, I got one of my straps sewed on here. Now before I do the other one, I'm going to put this, I think I'm going to put a button on it. So this is a big button. It's probably about almost 2 inches across. Now you don't have to do this if you don't want. This is something I'm going to do here. So what I'm going to do is flip my bag over. I haven't got the other handle on it yet, but I will. But I'm going to make a strap for this. So again, I'm just going to eyeball it. And I know my two handles are going to be like right here and right here. So I'm going to count the spaces. Let me move my camera so you can see it better. My camera is so wiggly. I need a new camera stand so bad. Okay. I know my handles are going to go about right here and right here. I can see that. So I'm going to count the... Use them as guides. I know I do it kind of the janky way, but I don't measure it very well. Now I'm going to use these little spaces in between as markers. And I have 6. So right in between, let's see, there's 3 here, 3 here. So I know right in between these two is going to be just about the center. So what I'm going to do is, and you know, it's not going to be perfect. My work is never perfect. So don't expect it to be perfect. Let me move my camera over here a little bit. Okay. Now I'm on the back where I grab my needle here that I'm using. And like I said, I measured where I knew about where it was going to be. So I I said right about in between these three. And what I'm going to do is start my yarn. And I'm going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4. What I'm doing is making a long chain that'll wrap around that button. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, I went ahead and checked it. I'm actually going to do a chain of 25. So I'm going to do 5 more. Now, if you have a smaller button, you just reach around and determine like where you're going to place your button, if your strap's going to reach it. It would be kind of nice and tight on it. But once you get that done, what I'm going to do is come down and I'm going to single crochet in the next stitch from the one that we started in. Like that. And now I'm going to turn my work. And I'm going to work around the chain, doing single crochets. So what I'm going to do is go right through the chain and single crochet, just like that. And I'm going to keep doing this until I get all the way around. Let's see, there's 4 I did, 5, 6, 7. I'm just going right through the loop and doing it. Kind of hard to hold on to it, but 8. Okay, I went ahead and did 40 single crochets through this loop, and you can kind of move them around and get them spaced out how you want. And I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch into this single crochet here, so kind of like right in between them, like that. And I'm going to tie it off, clip my yarn, and hide that tail. And then put it back over here in the front. And now what we can do is just kind of straighten these out. Get them all kind of equal around the chain. Like that. And then when I put my button on, it'll reach down there. So I'm going to go ahead and sew my button on real quick. Okay, I went ahead and got my button on. Now remember, you can put your button wherever you want for the length of your strap, and then you can just pull it down and strap it. And you can leave that off altogether too. You don't even have to put that on if you don't want. That's completely up to you, but that's how mine's going to close. And you might want to put a liner in it. You can sew a little liner on the inside. But that's it. After I get my other handle sewed on, I'll do that off camera, but that's it. That's all there is to it. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to check me out on Facebook and Etsy, and you can follow me on Pinterest and Twitter. I'll put a link to all that stuff below in the description box. And until next time, have a good day.